This is Wes S. I am in South Texas with the Wooded Beardsman. Say hi.
Hi guys.
This guy's from Canada. He's got a little channel where you got like 200 subscribers or something, or is there a K behind that?
200 with a K.
200 with a K. Okay. I've been following this guy for a long time, and he basically sent me an email, said, "Hey, you want to meet me?" I was like, "Yeah." So here I am.
Well, it's more than that. We've been talking for years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And but okay, I'm gonna call him Woodbeard because of Jeremy, his sidekick. If you don't know that, I'm gonna go ahead and shout him out. I follow him too. He's one wildcrafter, and don't hate him. He's a teacher, but he's smart and all that. Yes, I listen to smart people, not just hillbillies. Anyway, I'm gonna ask this guy a few questions because I want y'all to understand why I follow him and why it'd be a good thing for y'all to. Why did you start doing YouTube videos?
Do you want the long version or the short one? Whichever?
Whichever.
You guys have heard of the show Alone?
Yes.
You know Alone on the History Channel? Yeah?
Yes.
Okay, you guys know that one. So basically what I did was I applied for Alone and I made a casting tape. And you never know if your casting tape actually gets out to see anybody, so what I did was I put it on YouTube. Because, you know, I had a YouTube channel since like 2008, but I didn't really have anything on it. It was like trail camera pictures and me fooling around. I made videos when I was a kid. We did plays and stories and special effects. We had a VHS camcorder. We had two VCRs rigged to each other so we could edit. So we'd play one tape to the next tape, play, pause, record, so we could edit after. It was a whole thing.
Wow.
So I've been making videos since I was a teenager, even earlier than that. Since you could have a big VHS brick camcorder, I've been making videos just for fun, and we'd show our friends. Funny, I can't actually find any of those videos anymore.
Those would be golden.
They would be gold. I can't find them anymore. I looked everywhere. So anyway, I did the casting tape. I put it on YouTube, and I just kind of left it there. And I would be busy in the forums talking about the Alone show and how it was flawed, and how I thought it was kind of weird how they went about survival and how it was just a bizarre way of tackling it. It was more of a starvation challenge than anything. And then I realized at some point that my video had 50,000 views without me doing anything, and I was like, that's a pretty big number. So, you know, maybe I can actually make YouTube videos and people will watch them. So I kind of started doing that, and I would just make videos for fun, fishing, hunting a little bit, not really seeing where it would go. And
that's funny because that's how I found your channel. It wasn't the Alone connection.
Right.
I was planning a trip somewhere to go trout fishing. So I opened YouTube and I said trout fishing. And you popped up in the list.
Yeah, the brook trout fishing.
Brook trout fishing. I'm like, hey, it said Wooded Beardsman, come on. So I clicked it. I was like, ah, cool. And hey, this guy isn't trying to sell me a lure. He's telling me how to catch it with live bait. So I watched, and then I watched some of the other videos, and I'm one of the 50,000 views on the one he's talking about. So, but that tape you did about the Alone, that's what kind of like set you on fire.
Yeah, because it kind of evolved from, okay, so I can make a casting tape and it can work, but maybe they're not picking me for the show because they don't know I have any skills. So then I started demonstrating in various videos of all the skills. Like one of them was how to catch brook trout, and I would use worms. So then I went, okay, so how I catch worms? So I'd film something on how to catch worms without having spent any money. And from there, I'm like, you know, people are watching, but not really. I want to do something different than the Alone show, a starvation challenge. that would be more, that would emulate real life more, not the fakery, not starvation. So I came up with the Wilderness Living Challenge, and that's when buddy Jeremy and I, one wildcrafter, we went out and tried to actually live off the land, but we didn't use 10 primitive items. We actually wanted to be able to make a living from eating off the land, and I think from there the channel got a big bump. Not a lot of people watched the first one because it was agonizingly difficult to get through, and probably for a lot of people watch because it was starvation based. Even though we didn't try.
I don't want to give y'all too many spoilers because y'all really need to go watch that. You want to see people working their tail off just to eat, and then really wishing they could get back to McDonald's. It was hard to watch, but it's
harder to film too.
I wouldn't do it.
It was really painful. Hard to describe. But I got back from that challenge, and for 2.5 months, all I wanted was food, and I ate like it was my last meal, and I ate like it was every food I ate was like the best thing I ever had. So it really kind of put survival into perspective for me. And then every year after, I've done like more catch and cook style, where it's just kind of goofing around. It's not really serious survival, but it's more like keep my game sharp, go out and put a meal together from wild sources. And then season 2, we really wanted to figure out what the formula was for living off the land. And so we pulled out all the stops, and we went after bigger animals, not just fish as in season 1. And now here we are. Basically, I'm filming season 3 right now, wrapping up in Texas, which is a whole new ball of wax. So that's kind of where I started, and then I never really took it seriously. But I found it just tell a story, right?
Yeah. And I'm going to ask this, and y'all can hear it straight from his mouth. Have I got any inside information about this season of the Living Challenge? Have I been put in the loop in any way, shape, or form?
No, you don't know any spoilers.
I don't know nothing. It sucks.
I'm giving you but you'll enjoy watching it more, I think, if you don't know.
That's one of the things, because y'all always have like a guess how much weight we did or whatever. Or
yeah, maybe your viewers don't know, but we try not to lose any weight. That's our stick.
That's the goal.
We weigh in, we weigh out. We try not to lose any body weight, and we're hustling the whole time, trying to get food. We're not sitting on our butts just calorie counting. And so the idea is actually to live, wilderness living, not wilderness, rotting away.
I came up here to hang out with this guy for, because he's one of like my original subscribers. I've got a few people that I've watched get big, but
I was definitely one of your original subscribers because you were commenting so much on my channel. I check you out, right? And and you've done some really interesting prepper stuff.
You were like, you were 8 or 9 in there somewhere. I was like
really early.
It was real early, but I was like, wow, he's subscribing back.
Of course, I think that it's a community thing, right?
Yeah.
There's a lot of people who take a lot of time and effort to write comments on my channel, and they say check out my channel. I'll check out your channel, right? Yeah. I think when I'm so behind in comments now. I'm 2 weeks behind in comments because I can't do it from here. But,
y'all were talking about that. The first series where I got serious about telling a story about food stuff was the raccoon thing.
Yeah. And
I got that from y'all.
Right, because I was curious about whether you could render fat off of a raccoon and whether it would be palatable, because palatability is a huge thing in wilderness living. What we do is we don't want to be eating just gross food the whole time.
Yeah, because trust me, there's gross food out here.
Yeah, there's a lot of gross food. There's stuff you just won't eat, or it has to be prepared in a certain way. So that was a great experiment what you did with the raccoon rendering the fat. I think that's definitely a viable source. And we actually filmed another one here with a raccoon that I think you guys will find interesting, where we explore using the skin of the raccoon and actually wet plucking it. So that was an eye-opener for me. Just different methods of preparation in wilderness living, where you get more from the animal.
All right. Who brought you down here? I mean, tell me something about the other YouTuber that.
Yeah, Bob. So we're on Bob Hanser's property. Him and I have been talking probably, well, since he had issues with his eyesight. And then now he's in recovery, and he's out and about. He's actually out looking for hog right now.
Yeah.
And he invited me out. He said, we got to do the Wilderness Living Challenge in Texas. The world needs to see the resources that Texas has. So come on down. And I took him up on the offer. It wasn't really a lot of arm twisting. It was more just hammering out the details and making sure I thought it was going to be a viable place to survive or to live. So yeah, that's why I'm here. So we got 100, 200 acres to roam around. There's animals everywhere.
We're actually, what, maybe 75, 80 yards from the San Antonio River right now?
And there's some big animals in there.
Yeah, there are. We went down to wash our hands after doing something that y'all will find out about later. And you can see catfish. When we're done here, I'm going back down there. But that's about it. What if the people that see this decide to go over and check out your channel, is there anything you'd like for them to know?
Yeah, it's hard.
Amen.
If you think you're just gonna be right because you got weapons and you're gonna be able to put, you know, reasonable meals together from wild food, you're not. If you haven't tried it, you have no idea how difficult it is to maintain your body weight. With like we're using more and more cheats every year. We're adding vehicles. We're using refrigeration. We're getting water from modern sources. Because in Texas, as you can imagine, it would be a full-time job just to keep water on hand to stay hydrated.
Yeah.
But if you think you're just going to take a gun out and you're going to put meals together and there's wild edibles all over the place, you're sadly mistaken. I mean, it would take us an afternoon to collect the mulberries that we would need just to be in a deficit.
Yeah. They're
right, and
good.
That's one thing.
But it's a mouthful of water and sugar. There's only so much in it.
Yeah.
And you gotta go get more.
So for the prepper crowd out there, store food. I mean, have a good cache of food that you could supplement, and store carbohydrates and store fats. The lean protein you're gonna find almost anywhere. It's not hard to find lean protein, but if you want to find fats, which your body's gonna need if you eat just lean protein, you're gonna need 90% fat to protein ratio. The proteins, honestly, you need about 150 or 250 grams. I think it is. It's something stupid. It's a really small amount of protein, but you need raw calories, and you're gonna have to figure out the techniques for finding the calories, which is the brain, the bone, and the skin, and you're gonna have to figure out how to cook that out of the animal. And then the next thing is have a tuber or a root on hand. The berries, you know, you're eating 18 pounds of blueberries, I think is figured out.
Yeah, and that's something I like about cutting in here, because that's something I really like about your catch and cook deals, is you show all these different, I mean, he might show you the same animal more than once, but he cooks it different. And because, you know, you can do this or this, you know, like the way you're cooking the stuff that you caught here is not the way you cooked it in Canada.
Yeah.
Because you have more options.
Right.
There's people that tell me, well, you can do this and that or whatever. I said, yeah, we might do that in the boreal, but we're not going to do it out here in the desert. It's just not going to happen.
Yeah, one of the ones is pit roast, I think you're referring to.
Yeah.
It's difficult for us to do back home, but here it's dry. It works, and you got really hot wood. So, I mean, there's various techniques, but I think, you know, bringing back the techniques, the historical techniques for cooking is something that very, very few people are doing in the West. And so those techniques are lost. So we're trying to bring some of them back and explain why they're an asset if you want to actually live off the land.
Well, guys, this is getting long. There's we're gonna keep talking. Y'all just ain't gonna get to hear it. But Chris, Beardsman, I really appreciate you coming.
I appreciate you coming to give me the extra boost I need near the end of my trip, because you're helping me out. Like we're still going after things.
This guy's a maniac. That video I put up with me looking like somebody took a baseball bat to me and then throwed me down for dead, that wasn't acting. This guy's rough to chase around after. But
make the most of it.
It's been a blast. Right now we're sitting, we're talking. I wish we had smell-o-vision. Rob, that rub is making my nose drool. I don't know what's in it, but it worked on the snake and it's working on that critter.
I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to it.
Anyway,
you can talk about what the critter is.
There's an armadillo in a pan right there with Rob's rattlesnake rub all over it. and it is just steaming out. Got little grizzly bears. Well, we don't have grizzly bears. There's it's smelling good. Ooh, I gotta flip the cornbread. Y'all still out? Don't lie.